We spend our lives planning for vacations, retirements, weddings, and home improvements. But the one thing most of us don't plan for is the end. It feels heavy, even taboo. But here's the truth. Preparing for death isn't morbid. It's compassionate. It's an act of love that spares your family confusion, conflict, and heartache. This video is your clear, calm guide to doing just that. We'll walk step by step through everything your family will need, from legal documents and finances to funeral wishes, personal belongings, and even emotional legacy. This isn't about fearing death. It's about reducing fear for the people you love. Because when the time comes, your preparation becomes their peace. Welcome to the Baby Boomer Blueprint. Let's begin. First, legal documents. Let's start with what matters most on paper, your legal foundation. These documents aren't just bureaucratic formalities. They are your voice when you're no longer able to speak. They protect your loved ones from court battles, confusion, and the emotional strain of guesswork. And they ensure your final wishes are honored with clarity and dignity. 1. Last will and testament. This is the cornerstone of your legal preparation. A last will and testament outlines exactly who should receive your property, assets, and belongings when you pass away. It can also designate guardians for minor children or dependents and name the person, called an executor, who will carry out your instructions. Without a valid will, your estate falls under intestate succession laws, which vary by state. That means the court decides who gets what. And that might mean your assets are divided in ways you'd never have intended. For example, estranged relatives may inherit while close friends or stepchildren receive nothing. A will eliminates that uncertainty. Your will should include a clearly named executor, a list of beneficiaries, directions for distributing real estate, investments, and sentimental items, guardianship designations if applicable. Be sure to sign it properly with witnesses. Keep it updated every few years. Store the original in a safe, accessible place. Even if your estate is small, a will is vital. It brings structure, reduces family conflict, and speeds up the legal process known as probate. Second advance directive, living will. An advance directive, often called a living will, spells out your preferences for medical care if you become incapacitated. This document addresses critical end-of-life decisions, such as whether you want CPR or resuscitation, if you prefer to be on a ventilator, whether or not to use feeding tubes, your preferences for pain management or comfort care. Think of this document as a guidebook for your medical team and your family. When emotions are high and decisions are tough, your advance directive gives clear, legally binding instructions. So, your loved ones aren't left guessing or arguing. You can revise or update this document anytime. Be sure to discuss it with your healthcare proxy, your doctor, and close family members so everyone understands your wishes. Third, power of attorney, POA. A power of attorney authorizes someone you trust to make decisions on your behalf, either for healthcare, finances, or both. You'll typically want two types: medical power of attorney. This person makes healthcare decisions if you're unable to. They work alongside your advance directive. Financial power of attorney. This person can access your bank accounts, pay bills, manage property, or deal with insurance companies. These roles can be filled by the same person or different people depending on who you trust and what makes the most sense for your situation. POAs can be broad or limited, immediate or springing, meaning they only activate under certain conditions. It's critical to be specific in how much authority you grant and when it takes effect. Choose someone responsible, level-headed, and willing to act in your best interest, even under pressure. Fourth, revocable living trust. Optional but powerful. While not necessary for everyone, a revocable living trust can provide major benefits, especially if you have significant assets, real estate in multiple states, privacy concerns, heirs with special needs or complex situations. With a trust, you transfer ownership of assets into the trust during your lifetime. You still control them, and you can change the terms or beneficiaries at any time. After your death, assets in the trust go directly to your designated heirs, bypassing probate entirely. That means no court involvement, no public record, and often a much faster and less costly transfer of wealth. Additionally, if you become incapacitated, your successor trustee can manage the trust without court intervention. It's more complex to set up than a will and often requires a lawyer, but for the right person, it can be one of the most effective estate planning tools available. Fifth letter of instruction. Not legally binding, but invaluable. This isn't a formal legal document, but it may be the most helpful paper your family receives. A letter of instruction is a simple letter you write to your loved ones. It outlines personal and practical information that doesn't belong in a will or trust. What to include: the location of all your legal and financial documents, passwords or access instructions for your online accounts, contact information for your attorney, financial advisor, and executor, details for your funeral or memorial preferences, notes about personal belongings, who gets what and why, a personal message to your family if desired. It's your chance to say in plain language, here's what to do, here's what to know, and here's what matters to me. Update this letter periodically. Store it with your will or safe deposit box, and let someone trusted know it exists. Legal preparation isn't just about documents. It's about decisions, about care, about peace. By taking the time now to handle these 5 essentials, you're not just preparing for the end. You're offering your family the gift of clarity when they'll need it most. Second, financial affairs. Money is one of the most common sources of stress after someone passes, not because of greed, but because of confusion. When loved ones are grieving, even simple questions like, where is the life insurance policy? Or, did they have a mortgage? Can become overwhelming. Let's take the mystery out of it. Here's your step-by-step financial roadmap to make things easier for your family when they need it most. 1. Life insurance. Do you currently have a life insurance policy? If so, that's a great start, but it's not enough to simply have it. The value comes in clarity and access. First, confirm that. The beneficiaries listed on the policy are up to date. The policy itself is still active and in good standing. Your family knows it exists and knows where to find it. Many life insurance benefits go unclaimed simply because no one knows the policy exists or can't find the paperwork. If you don't have life insurance, ask yourself, would someone be financially affected by your passing? Would your family struggle to pay for your funeral? Are you still supporting children, a spouse, or anyone else? If the answer is yes, it may be worth exploring a small term policy, even later in life. Bonus tip: some employers offer life insurance as part of their benefits package. If you're retired, you may still have access to a reduced or converted policy from your former workplace. 2. Bank accounts and POD designations. One of the easiest ways to transfer money to your family is to set up payable on death, POD designations on your checking, savings, and money market accounts. POD means your chosen beneficiary can claim the account without probate, saving time, money, and paperwork. To do this, visit your bank or credit union and fill out the necessary forms. Keep a record of who is listed on each account. Tell your family where to find this information. Also, make a complete list of all accounts, including online-only banks, credit unions, and investment apps. Include account numbers, bank names, and login instructions, secured or encrypted. This list can be kept in your letter of instruction or a secure digital vault. 3. Debts and liabilities. When someone dies, their debt doesn't get passed on to their spouse or children, but the estate becomes responsible for settling those debts before any assets are distributed. That's why it's helpful to document everything you owe. Your list might include mortgage or home equity loans, car loans, credit card balances, personal loans, medical bills or long-term care expenses, tax obligations, what to include, the lender name and contact information, approximate balance due, account numbers or references, notes about whether the debt is tied to a specific asset, like a house or car. If you're still paying on major loans, consider whether you want to leave enough money behind to cover them, or if you're okay with the asset being sold. Pro tip: if you have co-signed debts, your co-signer may still be responsible after your passing. Make sure they're aware of the risk. 4. Funeral planning. Funerals are often the first major expense a family encounters after a loved one dies. And with prices often reaching $8,000 to $15,000, planning ahead can make a huge difference. Write down your preferences. Do you want a burial or cremation, a full funeral service, a small memorial, or no service at all? Any requests for music, readings, prayers, or donations? You can prepay for arrangements with a funeral home called a pre-need plan. Set up a payable on death account at your bank specifically for funeral expenses. Purchase a small final expense insurance policy to cover this cost. Tell your family not to overspend in the name of honoring you. A simple, well-prepared plan is often the most respectful option. 5. Where is everything? One of the biggest gifts you can give your family is a single location where all key financial documents can be found. Consider a fireproof safe at home, a locked file cabinet, or a safe deposit box if someone else has access. Here's what to include: life insurance policies, bank account information, retirement accounts, IRA, 401k pensions, credit card and loan documents, mortgage papers or home deeds, vehicle titles, tax returns from the last 3 to 5 years, a list of monthly bills and subscriptions. If you're comfortable using technology, a password manager can also help store and protect your login credentials for online accounts. Make sure someone you trust knows where the safe or file is located, how to access it, key, combination, etc., what's inside and what to do with it. You might also include a short financial snapshot summary in your letter of instruction, giving a big picture overview of your financial life. Final thought: financial planning doesn't need to be complicated, it just needs to be done. By organizing your life insurance, accounts, debts, funeral plans, and paperwork, you're giving your family something priceless: peace of mind in a moment of uncertainty. You're showing them love, not just with your words, but with your preparation. Third, family conversations. Legal documents are important, but they only go so far. What truly brings peace to your family isn't just paperwork, it's the conversations that happen around it. Talking about death can feel uncomfortable, even scary, but avoiding it can leave your loved ones confused, divided, or overwhelmed when the time comes. A few honest, heartfelt discussions now can spare them stress, guilt, and emotional guesswork later. Here's how to start. 1. Talk about it. For many families, this is the hardest part, just bringing it up. Most adult children instinctively avoid conversations about mortality, especially with their parents. But deep down, they want clarity. They want to know what to expect. Choose a quiet, low-pressure moment, maybe over coffee, maybe during a walk. You might begin with something simple, like, "I've been organizing some things lately, just getting my affairs in order. I want to make sure you're not left wondering what to do someday." By framing it as an act of love and preparation, not fear, you make it easier for them to listen. 2. Communicate your final wishes. This is where so much confusion can be avoided. Let them know what kind of medical care you want at the end, where you'd prefer to be, at home, in hospice, or in the hospital, whether you want to be an organ donor, your thoughts on a funeral, memorial service, or celebration of life. You don't have to script every detail, but giving your family a basic plan means they don't have to make impossible decisions in the middle of their grief. It also helps reduce disagreements. Everyone will know, this is what you wanted. 3. Explain your will and distribution. You don't need to reveal every asset or dollar amount, but sharing your general intentions can prevent confusion and hurt feelings. Tell them who is getting what, why you made those choices, that it came from careful thought, not favoritism or pressure. Often it's not the amount that causes tension, it's the surprise. When people understand the why, they're more likely to accept the what. 4. Name your point person. When the time comes, someone needs to take the lead. That person doesn't need to do everything, but they should be organized and calm under pressure. Let your family know who this is and what their role will be. Give them access to your legal and financial information, instructions for your funeral or final arrangements, contact information for your lawyer, executor, or financial advisor. This clarity reduces the chance of delays, arguments, or crossed wires during an emotional time. 5. Reassure them. Let your family know this isn't about expecting death. It's about preparing for life's realities with love and care. Say something like, "This isn't about me dying. It's about making things easier for you when that day eventually comes." That one sentence can shift the entire tone of the conversation. And they'll remember your words, not with dread, but with gratitude. These conversations may feel awkward at first, but they are acts of love, courage, and legacy. When the time comes, your family won't just have answers, they'll have peace. 4th, organizing belongings and digital life. When we think about end-of-life planning, we often focus on legal forms and finances. But the personal side of preparation is just as important: your physical belongings, digital presence, and family history. Taking the time to organize these areas now not only simplifies the process for your loved ones, but also preserves the memories and stories that make you you. Let's walk through the 5 areas to focus on. 1. Sentimental decluttering. Over the years, we accumulate a lifetime of things: books, heirlooms, old letters, tools, furniture. But not everything holds equal meaning. Start now by identifying items with sentimental value. Use sticky notes or labels to mark who you'd like to receive each piece. You can also use boxes to group items by recipient. Invite your children or close relatives to go through things with you. Encourage them to call dibs on items they care about, while you're still around to tell the stories behind them. This not only reduces the burden later, but gives you the joy of seeing your things go to the right hands. 2. Create a home inventory. Having a documented list of your possessions is useful for 2 key reasons. It helps your executor or family distribute items fairly. It supports insurance claims if needed. What to include: jewelry, art or antiques, tools or equipment, collectibles or valuable household items. You can create a photo inventory using your smartphone or write it by hand in a dedicated notebook. Free apps like Sortly or Encircle can also help organize by room or category. Be sure to store this list somewhere safe and accessible, ideally with your other important documents. 3. Prepare digital assets. Your online life matters just as much as your physical one. In fact, most people today leave behind dozens of digital accounts, some of which may have financial or sentimental value. Make a list of email accounts, cloud storage services, Google Drive, Dropbox, streaming subscriptions, Netflix, Spotify, online banking or investment platforms, social media accounts, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Use a password manager like LastPass or Bitwarden to securely store your login information. Share access with your executor, spouse, or a trusted contact. Many platforms also offer posthumous management options: Google's Inactive Account Manager, Facebook's Legacy Contact Settings. These allow someone to manage or memorialize your accounts after you pass. Pet Care Plan. Pets are family too, and they deserve care if something happens to you. Write down your pet's routine: feeding, walks, medications, vet's contact info, favorite toys or behaviors, emergency instructions. Name someone you trust to take over care. If needed, you can even set up a pet trust to ensure money is allocated for their well-being. Leave this plan with your other legal and personal files. 5. Family history and photos. This may be the most meaningful category of all. Take time to organize your photos, both printed and digital. Label names, dates, and places. Consider creating a family album or digital archive. If you're able, record short audio or video clips explaining the stories behind your most treasured memories. Pass them down not just as images, but as living pieces of your legacy. The items you leave behind tell a story. By organizing them now, you shape that story with care and offer your family comfort, clarity, and connection for years to come. 5. Emotional and spiritual legacy. Legal plans and financial preparation are critical. But perhaps the most enduring part of what you leave behind isn't paperwork. It's the emotional and spiritual imprint you make on the people who love you. Your words, values, and love can outlast anything stored in a safe or written in a will. This section is about legacy in its truest form, the kind that touches hearts, not just hands. 1. Write a legacy letter. You might call it a goodbye letter, or maybe just a reflection. What matters is the message, not the format. It's your chance to say what matters most. What do you want your children or grandchildren to remember about you? What lessons shaped your life? What values do you hope they carry forward? You can write one general letter or create individual notes for specific people in your life: spouse, siblings, children, close friends. It doesn't have to be long or poetic. It just has to be honest. And when the time comes, it will mean more than you'll ever know. 2. Record your voice or video. If you're willing, consider recording a short video or voice message. Hearing your voice, seeing your face, these bring tremendous comfort after you're gone. Your message could include a brief reflection on your life, a few personal stories, expressions of love and pride, one final moment of connection. It doesn't need editing, lighting, or special equipment. Just speak from the heart. Some people choose to record birthday messages for grandchildren to watch in future years. Others simply share a goodbye. Whatever you choose, it becomes a living memory, one that feels personal, present, and lasting. 3. Share your wisdom. You've walked through joy, heartbreak, love, loss, mistakes, and victories. That experience is valuable. Tell your loved ones what got you through the hardest days, what brought meaning to your life, what you believe in, spiritually, morally, or philosophically. You don't need to preach or instruct, just share what mattered to you. Whether it's a family tradition, a personal mantra, or a story from your past, these insights are threads your family can carry with them into the future. 4. Affirm the love. Too often we assume the people around us know how we feel, but they need to hear it. Tell them that you're proud of who they are, that you forgive them if forgiveness is needed, that you've loved them deeply, even when things were difficult. These words don't have to be perfect. They just need to be said. And when grief comes, your love will speak louder than the silence. 5. Make peace. None of us leave life with every relationship resolved, but you can still choose peace over perfection. Reach out if you can. Apologize where needed. Forgive, even if the other person never says sorry. For those you can't reach or reconcile with, write them a letter you never send. Say what needs to be said and let it go. You're not doing it just for them. You're doing it for your own spirit and for the legacy of calm you leave behind. This isn't about closure, it's about connection. The words, love, and wisdom you leave behind become a light in someone's darkness, a reminder that even in death, your care continues. Take the time to say what matters. Your family won't forget it, and neither will you. 6th final recap. Before we close, let's take a moment to review your full preparation checklist. These aren't just tasks, they're acts of care, gifts of peace and clarity for the people you love most. 1. Legal essentials. Create or update your will. Complete an advance directive, living will. Assign a power of attorney for medical and financial decisions. Set up a trust, if helpful. Write a clear letter of instruction. 2. Financial affairs. Review and update your life insurance. Add beneficiaries to bank and investment accounts. Make a list of debts and liabilities. Document your funeral preferences. Organize key financial documents and store them safely. 3. Family conversations. Talk openly with your loved ones. Explain your wishes for care and end-of-life planning. Clarify inheritance plans to avoid confusion. Designate a trusted point person. Reassure your family that this planning is a loving gift. 4. Personal belongings. Sort through sentimental items. Create a home inventory of valuables and heirlooms. Document and prepare your digital accounts. Make a pet care plan. Label and preserve photos and family memories. 5. Emotional and spiritual legacy. Write legacy letters to loved ones. Record a video or voice message. Share your life lessons and values. Say the things that matter, the pride, the love, the forgiveness. Make peace where you can. You don't have to do all of this at once. Start small, one conversation, one document, one drawer at a time. Every step you take now is a burden lifted from someone later. Every note, every label, every conversation is a quiet act of love. Because you're not just putting your affairs in order, you're putting hearts at ease. You are not simply leaving behind things, you are leaving behind thoughtfulness, comfort, legacy. You are leaving love. And that is the most beautiful blueprint of all. Thank you for spending time with the Baby Boomer Blueprint. If this helped you, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you haven't started your checklist yet, now is the perfect time. Take care and take heart.